All right.
Yo, it's Michael McFadden for our friends over at Credit Building Professionals. You know what they do? They help their clients achieve better credit. How? Late payments, fraud, liens, charge-offs, student loans. They do it all. Get results in 30 to 90 days, and it's very simple to contact them. Hit them up on their website, creditbuildingprofessionals.com, or give them a call, 678-447-2012. Once again, 678-447-2012. Tell them you heard it on Power 108.9. What up, Credit Craig?
Greetings, family. This is the Vanguard on Power 108.9, broadcasting live from the Battery Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, on a beautiful but yet crisp day in the ATL. I've been out a while. I think it's been quite a minute since I've been on air. Kathy and I were actually over in Europe, so I'm glad to be back on the scene. And I want to thank Brother Kwame for holding it down. I think, was it 2 shows in a row, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right. Yeah, so I definitely am glad to be back. The Vanguard is brought to you by From Old Guard to Vanguard, a second-generation Panther book. Also, From Old Guard to Vanguard photo exhibit. And Atlanta Segment Productions, ASP, and Atlanta Segment Productions TV. So we're definitely glad to be back on a Sunday. And we have a very extra special guest in the building. We got 2 coming, but we got 1 already here. Brother Walter, he's in the house, man. How you doing, brother? He just on lean right now. But anyway, brother, how was your weekend so far?
Oh, exciting. Like Michael says, I'm putting in work, literally.
Right.
So I actually ended up working at a Persian wedding on Friday night, and at a German Chamber of Commerce meeting last night.
Oh, man.
2 very interesting and very similar type clientele.
Okay.
And I'll get into that a little bit later on.
Okay. Well, I actually watched the show from Paris.
Yes.
And I think Michael saw my my emails and messages. I was throwing questions out there. Exactly. And I'm looking at the Champs-Élysées, and I'm still hitting up Power 108.9 because, it's global, baby.
Yeah.
But I had a great time in Europe in general. I went to, Kathy and I actually went to Amsterdam. Which was a pretty nice, trip, out there. I had never seen so many people on bikes in my life. Never
Isn't
seen
it something?
Yeah, it was something. It's a very eco-friendly place, and I never seen so many people with tight jeans and leather jackets before.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's something. Look, I really can't rock
all over again.
1960s, and they were serious about it, man.
Yes.
And it was pretty much a very health conscious community as well. And so that was the reason why I definitely would go back to Amsterdam, because there's so many things we didn't get a chance to do. Of course, we weren't interested in the red light district and nothing like that.
Why not?
They say you can't take.
They got something for everybody over there.
Definitely for the right price, I guess. But yeah, we definitely enjoyed Amsterdam. London was great too, and I got a chance to meet Cambridge University professor. What's my man's name? His is Adeyinka Makinde, and he's over at Cambridge. And matter of fact, he's an author of a few books, 2 of which are Jersey Boy, and that's the life and mob slaying of Frankie DePaula. And so that's one of the books he has out. And also there's another book he did. It's called Dick Tiger. Yes, called Dick Tiger, and it's also by Brother McKinday, and it's the life and times of a boxer immortal. And this is the brother Dick Tiger who actually killed a man in the ring. And thing is the effect that it definitely had on him.
Yes.
So he kind of delves into that, and also he did a companion book called Cambridge Companion to Boxing, and he has a few chapters in that. So you definitely make sure you follow him on Blog Talk, and because he has a Blog Talk station. You can just pretty much go to was it Adeyinka McKinday on Blog Talk. So just Google that. And also I met some other people as well. It was what's the two other folks I met? It was actually in Paris because I met brother Akinde in Paris. I mean in London. And okay. Yeah, brother Kinde in London, and also sister Zipporah Sephora, and she was actually in Paris, France. She was a young sister that's been following me for years, and she wanted to get a chance to kind of meet me. So we definitely will keep up with her. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and go to a break right now, and we'll be back with the Vanguard on Power 108.9.
Blurb on the New York 21, so that people could have an understanding of
if you're a
the
content
connections
creator,
of these different
social
groups
media
back in the
socialite,
day.
influencer, or simply love to record current events, you need the joystick. The joystick is an essential tool for every type of digital content creator. It holds two or more mobile phones or tablets, allowing users to stream and record hands-free on multiple apps simultaneously. And it's lightweight and portable. For more information or to purchase your joystick today, visit our website at www.joystick.com.
Oh, okay. All right. You're back with the Vanguard on Power 108.9. Now, if you're missing somebody, Miss Kathy, she's ill this morning, so she couldn't come through and do our usual three-person hosts. So we definitely want to make sure she gets well.
Feel better, Kathy.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so. And also, I want to mention the other three people I met in Paris. They were Zipporah Sephora, which is a sister that lives in Paris. She's a social worker, and she does some wonderful things in the community. And also I want to mention Emanuela Brambam. She's an activist, and she's a very conscious person that's in Paris, France as well. And I had a great dialogue. She came and met me actually at the hotel. Along with Sister Zipporah, who came earlier, a week, actually probably about 3 or 4 days in between. And then there was a brother who's a scholar, activist, organizer. His name is Pierre Desiree Cross. And he's the one, matter of fact, he arranged or organized the Emory Douglas exhibit in Paris.
Yes, I saw pictures of him.
Yeah, absolutely. So I definitely want to shout them out, and I want to make sure that people go out and check out Brother McKinday's books. They're on Amazon, and make sure you definitely check them out. Now, brother, you were saying something during the break.
Yes, I wanted to lead in. In the late 60s and the early 70s, we're so far removed, even though it's only 50 years or so, that a lot of these groups were really well connected. Black Panther, BLA, and some of the other groups that our guest is going to mention.
Okay.
But the New York 21, I want to be able to ask a question about that later on in the show.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Well, our guest just joined us. We're going to go to a break in a minute. But Brother Kalonji, I call him the hardest working man in activism. I mean, that brother put the A in activism with his coalitions, his organizations, his grind. He very much reminds me of Stokely Carmichael or Kwame Ture, to be honest with you. So we're going to go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Kalonji Jama Changa on the Vanguard, Power 108.9. Well, actually, the brother was coming down from the wall. Mike put up the paper. This is him right there.
You just came up telling me, Kalonji?
Yeah.
You look like a Kalonji. It's funny, I haven't seen that picture in years.
I should have got with you to see me.
Nah, it's all right, man. I'm still me.
That's right.
I ain't picking. Okay. Professor Griff actually took that picture, man. He owed me some money that day. He said, man, don't worry about it. Let me say, man. Oh, good.
Professor Griff.
If you're a content creator, social media socialite, influencer, or simply love to record current events, you need the joystick.
Like you said, just
The joystick is an essential tool for every type of digital content creator. It holds 2 or more mobile phones or tablets, allowing users to stream and record hands-free on multiple apps simultaneously. And it's lightweight and portable. For more information or to purchase your joystick today, visit our website at www.joystick.com.
Put some lights on the song.
Yeah, we have a podcast. Our producers don't sterilize nothing.
Yeah. Oh man.
You coughing on the mic like, dude, what's up?
Yeah, we're back with the Vanguard on Power 108.9, and we have an extra special guest in the house, Brother Kalonji Jama Changa. How you doing, my brother?
Man, I'm alive on arrival. I'm here with the Vanguard, so I feel real good this morning.
Right on, man. We'll definitely welcome, brother. And like I said during the break, man, you really are one of the most active brothers that I've seen in our struggle in such a long time. Because your commitment to our community is very evident. What inspires you to serve our community in that behalf?
I think that I feel like we have so many brothers and sisters and ancestors who fought before we got here. You know what I mean? And I think that the least we can do is just make an effort to do our part to keep that energy going. You know what I mean? Because we're not where we should be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think I'm inspired. I feel like the life that we were given, it's not just ours alone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have to contribute in some type of manner.
Well, I think our ancestors are around us and they emanate from us. Absolutely. And certainly we have to represent them because, they went through a sojourn on our behalf, and it's our responsibility to also go through that sojourn.
Absolutely.
So definitely, brother, it's definitely great to have you. And the first question I want to ask you, second question, rather, is describe your upbringing and what led you to become a revolutionary activist.
Describe my upbringing.
Because you sound like a brother from the East.
Yeah, I'm from Bridgeport, Connecticut. You know what I mean?
I knew it.
45 minutes away from Harlem, tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, same area.
Yeah.
Grew up in the projects like many good folks who decided that this was the way to go. I am a 5th generation freedom fighter. My great-great-grandfather was a brother by the name of Sam Pace. He was a native, a Seminole. And he was down in the Florida area. Some U.S. Marshals came onto his land to take his brother Aaron, and they weren't satisfied. So, the Marshals fired on them. He fired back, and he took 7 of them out. ended up moving to South Carolina, and that's where the journey began. So I am, but at the same time, I got to say that I grew up in the 80s.
Right.
You know, I was born in 1970, right after the quote-unquote Black Power movement and right before the internet.
Right.
You know, so, you know, I took the rough way.
Okay.
You know, I decided to, you know, my father said go left, I said go right, and it wasn't until I was incarcerated in 1988 that I had my quote-unquote Malcolm moment.
Okay, all right. And I think Brother Kwame has the second question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to read them.
Y'all got me nervous. They have a syllabus over
Yes.
Oh, I tell everybody get their popcorn.
No. These were chosen for specific reasons.
Okay.
What person or group or book inspired you on your journey?
What person, group, or book? I am a avid reader, so it's a lot of different books. You know, we can go anywhere from Philosophy and Opinions of Marcus Garvey to, you know, anything by Malcolm, his speeches, you know. But I think people that inspired me, I would say folks like, you know, the Sister Harriet Tubman, who's big in the joint right now, because she was a liberator. And if we look at, you know, us being in the South right now, if we look at all the trees and what they say, the blood on the roots and the leaves and the roots, and the fact that she was able to not only escape enslavement herself, but to come back and go get others. I think she would be my greatest inspiration. Wow. And then you have folks like, you know, of course, Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey being bold at that particular time period when it wasn't cool to be bold. Of course, Malcolm, because like many of us, you know, we went through transformations, you know what I mean? And he was, I think, an example of someone who can change, you know what I mean? My grandmother used to say they made pencils with erasers because people make mistakes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there it is.
So many of us make mistakes, and we don't like to talk about the mistakes that we made. So those are a few. And, of course, the Black Panther Party and, you know, and us. I'm inspired by us because of the fact that the one thing all of us have in this room is that we are offspring of survivors. Right. Because of the fact that our ancestors, they made it through those times. And how do we know that? Because we exist.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we are the survivors. So, you know, we inspire us.
Right. Well, you mentioned about Harriet Tubman, brother. I remember a quote she had where I freed 1,000 slaves, and I could have freed 1,000 more, only if they knew they were slaves.
Yeah, that's heavy, and that's you know that rings true to today. Yeah. You know what I mean? This very day, most of our people, you know, are unaware that we are victims. Right. You know what I mean? And it's an unfortunate thing because of the fact that, you know, being you know, my comrade Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. would say, being oppressed is embarrassing. It's a very embarrassing thing because of the fact that if you look around us now, we got folks like, you know, well, my people weren't slaves. I came from here, and I came from this, and my people built pyramid. Right. Somebody was enslaved.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's number one. But on the flip side, if you did come from kings and queens and all that type of stuff, you should be fighting harder than us peasants.
Yes.
Because of the fact that, you know, they took more from you than anybody else.
That's true. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, you know.
Well, that's powerful, brother. Now, did you have a mentor along the way?
Yes, I had many mentors. I was blessed to, again, grow up where I grew up at. A lot of folks aren't familiar with Connecticut, and when I say Connecticut, they think of Oprah or somebody like that. But you know,
I think insurance.
Yeah, insurance. You think of all the good white things,
right,
you know
right.
But you know, but it's far from reality. Right. The city I grew up in, one of the projects was the number 5 worst project in the United States for quite a while. Wow. When folks in New York were looking for their cars, they would either go to Jersey or Connecticut to try to find out who got their car. And a lot of times they didn't make it back because of the fact that they had the mentality of Connecticut.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? But we are us no matter where we are.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So like I mentioned, we're 45 minutes away from Harlem. The beauty of that is we had the opportunity there was so many jewels in Harlem and Brooklyn and places like that. You can go see the Dr. John Henrik Clarks, the Dr. Benz, the Francis Cress Welsons, and so many others. There was a spot called First World Alliance. We used to go get our historic information from the scholars. So each week they would have a different powerful lecture.
Oh, wow.
Now, during that time period, we didn't know how powerful they were because of the fact that I just know that Brother Malik is teaching this week.
Yes.
And I know that next week my man Brother Walter will be teaching. Right. You know what I mean? And it's, so on and so forth. But we had that side, and then I was blessed with the side of the freedom fighters, quote unquote. Right. Not to take away from the scholars, but there's a difference from the scholar with the pen. And the scholar's role is, it's just as important as the brother with the gun. But then we had the BLA brothers, the Panther brothers, the Snake brothers, and all of them who had the opportunity to build with and grow with. Right. You know what I mean?
To carry that theory into practice.
And they said the pen is mightier than the sword. So.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And Che Guevara said something. He said the role of the propagandist is just as important as the role of the guerrilla. Yeah. And we see that in the United States right now because of the fact that whatever they say to us, that's the business.
Okay. Well, what we're going to do is go to a break right now, but we'll be right back with Kalonji, Jama, Changa. I tell everybody, get your popcorn ready. We'll be back. Yes.
I know. Popcorn on radio. He's serious. Hey, man, listen. And I'm sorry I get long-winded sometimes, man. So feel free to cut me, man. I go in the zone. Man, it's all good. But I like when I hear that music. I know what time it is. I ain't gonna keep. Oh man, this is my second interview this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, last time me and Kwame actually went to see Moose on the Roof.
Yeah.
Okay.
The poet guy.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, you were in the front row.
Yes.
Yeah, you were actually in the front row.
Okay.
And I didn't get a chance to actually greet you because I had to leave pretty soon, but I got to meet and talk with Queen Sunni Patterson.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Backstage actually.
Yeah. Okay.
And then our comrade, last we have many comrades.
Yeah.
Fred Hampton Jr.
Yeah.
I visited him in jail when he was up there.
Okay. Right on.
So and then we worked on the campaign to free him with Kua and Jerry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same here. Yeah. So it's funny you say that because of the fact that you mentioned Bilal. Bilal is one of my mentors.
Yeah.
Bilal and his mother his wife, Fulani.
Yeah.
They are like my godparents. They're the reason why I'm still
Fulani.
here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sister Fulani. Yeah.
Yeah. So their son, Kofi or Shakur, he's one of my comrades, one of the first founding members of the FTP movement.
Yeah.
Wow.
We used to live together and everything. So we have, I'm sure we have plenty of.
He's another good friend of mine too.
Kofi?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Los Angeles.
Okay. Yeah. So you lived out there a few years ago. Okay. We had a chapter out there.
Yeah.
FTP. The brother, do you know Siddiqui?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Siddiqui used to head up that chapter.
Yet our best trained, best educated, best equipped, best prepared troops refuse to fight. Matter of fact, it's safe to say that they would rather switch than fight.
You already know the deal. This is Vanguard on Power 108.9. Bringing us back to PE, Fight the Power. And that's what we got to do in this era of, really, it's the continual eras here in Babylon, if you will. But, Kwame, you had the next question?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
All right, brother. Tell us about the various groups you were involved with, like the People's Army, the Black August Commemorative Committee, and other coalitions.
Yeah, so basically, the People's Army is the Siafu movement. The Siafu movement is a coalition of an active coalition, because a lot of times you say you have, I'm down with this and I'm down with that one, right, but there's no real action. Right. But they're family, they're comrades, and it's made up of 9 different organizations: Mama's Army, the FTP movement, Urban Survival Preparedness Institute, African Martial Arts Institute, Siafu Youth Corps, National Coalition to Combat Police Terrorism, Freedom Home Academy, and I know I'm forgetting some, but the peoplesarmy.org is where you can find out about it. But basically, that along with the Black August Organizing Committee. I'm the East Coast coordinator for the Black August Organizing Committee. And for folks who are listening, if you're not familiar with Black August is basically a month that we commemorate political prisoners, specifically mainly political prisoners out of the California prison system. Folks like George Jackson, Jonathan Jackson, and so many others who were involved in resistance.
Yeah.
Yes, Qatari Golden,
Golden, right.
so many different other brothers and sisters that have lost their lives and continue to fight on our behalf. So each year we commemorate. We don't celebrate. We commemorate, fallen soldiers and brothers and sisters who are still behind the wall.
And the August actually came about because a lot of the main slave uprisings and rebellions actually took place in August.
Right. Oh, yeah.
When it was the hottest.
Haiti.
A lot of resistance, So, so basically, to answer your question, I'm an organizer. I don't think I'm the best anything, but I think I'm a damn good organizer. I know to bring the components to the to make the machine pop.
Right on. Well, my first living mentor was Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael. I actually went in Africa. I was in Ghana, and at the time he was living in Guinea. And so he happened to be there for a conference, and he took some time with me. I pulled him aside. I talked to him, and he was the first one to really challenge me from carrying theory into practice.
Absolutely.
Because theory without practice doesn't mean anything.
It means nothing.
And so thing is, having that kind of mentor and if you would, because I kept in touch with him. Whenever he'd come out to California, I lived in California myself about 14 years.
Right on.
And whenever he would come, he'd be organizer for the All African People's Revolutionary Party. And it's really important to have that figure, especially someone such a grand figure in our people's history. Would you agree?
Hey, definitely one of my jegnas as well. One of my mentors. One of the when you talk about inspiration, I can't. I'd be remiss. I didn't mention Kwame Ture or my imam Jamil Alameen, formerly known as H. Rap Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are brothers who put that work in. We mentioned earlier Fulani Sunni Ali, another freedom fighter. When you mention folks like Asada and Harriet Tubman, Fulani's name should be mentioned as well.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because oftentimes we forget about the sisters who, in many cases, move better and harder than we do.
Oh yes.
You know what I mean? And they're more committed. Right. The brother said something as we was coming up. The brother Walter, he said he was a committed, a loyal guest.
Oh, okay.
And I said to him, loyal is the best part.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because you can have a whole bunch of people that are with you,
right,
while you are in whatever capacity you in. But as soon as you slip, you can't find them. So loyalty is the best part. Right. So absolutely, Kwame Ture, Kwame Nkrumah, Sekou.
Oh yeah.
Sekou Ture, Sekou Odinga, the whole nine. So.
Okay. Well, my next question kind of gets into that even deeper in terms of your connections. You have a strong working comradeship with many Black liberation veterans, particularly Dhoruba bin Wahad, New York 21.
Yes.
He's like I say, brother Sekou Odinga and others. Describe the relationship despite the generational difference in age and eras.
Right. Yeah. Again, as I mentioned earlier, one of my strongest fights, or our strongest fights, is for the release of political prisoners. Right. In any country, whenever there's any type of war going on, before any negotiations are taking place, they want their freedom fighters back. They need those folks who are held captive. Before we could talk about, who gonna get the oil, who live over here, right, and who mama don't like what, and what language you speak and all that. Look, I need my man back because of the fact that you got him. You holding him captive. I need the sister over here back because, ain't nothing to talk about until we get them back. Right. You know what I mean? So I developed a relationship based on that because of the fact that many of these sisters and brothers I met while they were behind the wall. Right. But I think that the beauty of it as well is I also understood that, each generation that comes up, we look at the last generation like either we're going to emulate what they did or like they didn't do enough.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the one thing I like to do is learn from the mistakes and errors of others.
Right.
You know what I mean? To try to prevent some of my own. Now, if you know me, I made plenty of mistakes. You know what I
We
mean?
all
Because
do,
that's
right?
how, you know, I'm a man. Right. That's not an excuse. I'm just saying it's like, it's a reality. I don't want to come up in here acting like I'm the grand supreme potentate of revolution or no nonsense like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I had the opportunity to learn from many OGs and we call them elders, OGs, original gorillas, and
All right.
and many of theirs.
Right.
So everybody from, you know, like I said, a Daruba to a Baba Herman Ferguson, you know, who's an ancestor now, who was a comrade of El Hajj Malik Shabazz.
Yeah, he was one of my mentors too.
Yes. Or a Max Stanford, who was one of the founding members of the Revolutionary Action Movement.
Ram.
Yes. So, you know, I try to learn from these OGs and elders because of the fact that first and foremost, you want the blessings.
Right.
I don't want to come up in your house. You already here. I ain't Christopher Columbus. I ain't come here and discover Power 108. You know what I'm saying? I just rolled up.
Taking over.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting on the mic. My man like, hold on, that's my seat. Like, why? I usually like to sit on this side. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you want to get that respect. So the thing is, you know, I've been in the movement long enough to know, you know, check in with the folks that's doing the work wherever they at.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even if some of them might not even be right. But if I know my man's over here doing that work, whether I agree with his politics or not, I still can't just move in on his block, you know, like trying to tell him how to move.
Right.
You know what I mean? I offer my assistance.
Right. That's right.
You know what I mean? So I learn from my elders. I learn from my peers, because a lot of my peers are elders.
Right. Oh, yes.
And I learn from the youth because, you know, we can't just, like I said, come in the game talking about what the next generation ain't doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't set trip over areas or over time.
Right.
You know what I mean? You may have wisdom and you might be 5 years old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
and you can learn from everyone.
Man, remember the commercial? You can learn a lot from a dummy.
Right.
There's a lot of dummies out here we can learn from. You know what I mean?
Well, I had a great aunt, Josephine Guy. She lived to be 111.
Okay.
And she would tell me that you always learn something new.
Yes.
You know, at the time I think she was 109. She was telling me it was in Zachary, Louisiana.
Right.
And she was saying, June, I tell you could always learn something. He said, I learned from these young people and this and that. And so that's how even the elders, especially a super centrarian elder like my Aunt Joe.
111.
Yeah, 111 years. I mean, just think of the things she's seen in her lifetime.
She's seen everything.
Seen everything, right? Right. Yeah. Well, brother, you got the next question?
Yes, I most definitely do. How did Siafu come about?
Siafu. Siafu is in name, as far as the organization, it's fairly new over the last 3 years. And that was my brother Balogun Ojatade, who is the founder of the African Martial Arts Institute. He's the founder and technical director. And also, he's the co-chair of the Urban Survival Preparedness Institute. We co-chair that particular piece together. Okay. And our brother Kamal Franklin, who's another seasoned activist, he's an attorney, his wife and himself. And he's actually, he was the campaign manager for the first Chokwe Lumumba out in Jackson. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So we all came together. We were already working together, but we decided to come up under one particular umbrella. Right. And we all were part of each other's organizations as well. Right. But I
think Elders Cleave call that specific coalitions for specific purposes, right?
Absolutely. So FTP movement already existed, and our logo was a Siafu ant, and Freedom Home Academy, the logo was Siafu ant. So we just decided it was going to be the Siafu movement.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And I want to backtrack on go back to the previous question. Describe the roster of the Speaking Bureau that you're a part of as well.
Yes. So we have a Speakers Bureau, the People's Army Speakers Bureau, and we felt that, you know, again, we know what time it is. We know there's so many different, quote unquote, dynamic speakers out there, so many different princes of this and kings of that, and you know, all that type stuff.
Kings of comedy.
Yeah, basically. You know what I'm saying? You know, he said it, you know what I'm saying? But I co-sign.
Okay.
You know, so yeah, it's a lot of BS. And, you know, unfortunately, there's a lot, the folks who put in the most work you hardly ever hear their name, or you don't know their name at all.
That's true. Yeah.
You mentioned Bilal Sunni Ali, a mutual comrade.
Yeah.
Man, his name should be on the tongue of anybody talking about freedom fighting.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah. From his work with Gil Scott-Heron to his work as far as with the party and just his revolutionary work throughout the years. So we have so many different brothers and sisters, the Ruba Memohads, the Cynthia McKinney, former U.S. Congresswoman.
Yeah, absolutely. Matter of fact, we had her actually at Auburn Avenue when they did a reunion of the Black Panther Party there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if you were here then, but
I think that was maybe
you might have been. It was say not 90 something, 2005.
I was here.
Okay,
and I think I was at that particular piece. Now there was I think there was two. There was one in 2008, I think too.
Okay.
2008 or 9.
Well, we had with Emory Douglas at the Southwest Arts Center.
So I think that was 2008, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah, 2008.
Okay.
Right.
We both getting old.
Okay,
I was there. I got here in 04.
Right, yeah, I was one of the organizers with Bill Jennings. And what have you.
Yeah. And y'all did a great job. And I think Cynthia was there with Kathleen at that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Auburn Avenue Research Library.
That's right.
Yeah, I was there.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Not too many revolutionary things going to be in the building.
Right.
You know what I mean? Certain things you have to attend. You have to be on point. Right but on. So the Speakers Bureau, we have a number of different dynamic brothers and sisters who have who put theory into practice and also have an analysis, a concrete analysis, because a lot of times we have folks that just speak off of emotionalism and sensationalism or how you feel. So I think you think, and sometimes you think you thinking.
You think you thinking.
You know what I mean? And that's cool. And everyone has an opinion, and you know what they say about opinions. So our particular position is who are some of the best qualified folks who can actually go out and teach, and at the same time, it is lonely in this movement.
Right.
When you putting that work in, you're not gonna have many friends.
Right.
You know what I mean? They cool with you when everybody's waving the flag, but when the state say something, everybody ducking and hiding.
Become alienated. That's the word.
Absolutely. Or isolated.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And you'll be isolated by your own first.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So we wanted to take the bad guys or the good guys and create a Speakers Bureau where we could provide proper information. You know what I mean, to the masses. So that's one of our goals with that.
Oh, right on, brother. Well, brother, we're having some powerful conversation, and we'll definitely be right back with the Vanguard on Power 108.9. Get your popcorn ready.
What flavor?
Brother, I know. We know so many people, and this is the first time we actually physically. Oh, sure.
Yes.
First time we actually got to meet each other.
Yeah. I'm honored.
We've been in the same.
Same spaces many times. So
I'm a member of the Black Legion, and Sister Fulani was my commanding general.
I know what time it is. Okay. You're part of Black Legion where? Where in Cali?
No, I'm national now. I'm a national general.
Now who's the president RNA right now?
We have, there's been a lot of different things happening with it, but
I'm hip. I just met a brother.
Jamoke was the past president, recent past president.
I know Jamoke.
Yeah.
There's another brother in New Orleans that said he was the president. I was down there a few months ago, but we get confused because you have so many splits and so many different.
But the group that Jamoke, that's the official provisional government that was set up in 1968.
Right.
There are other people that call themselves the permanent government, which means they're pushing the movement forward. They're more militant, but you have to have an official representative for the United Nations, and that's the provisional government.
Right.
Yeah. Anything else is, like I said, it's just a schism and an ism. I'm glad you mentioned about the sisters, because they are so, I call them sheroes, because they're so underestimated. If we didn't have this Harriet movie out now, and there's yes, you wouldn't even know that women even were around.
You familiar with Baina Bello?
Yeah.
She was just here recently. She has a book out.
Yeah.
She rose in the revolution, in the Haitian Revolution.
Yeah.
Powerful.
And I actually got a chance to speak with Sister Bupari
Right.
Yeah.
But when I was with the Vanguard in Los Angeles under Quentin Durant, I would get counsel from her.
Yes.
So I relied on
Safia Bukhari, she was also, I worked with her too. She was also.
Man, listen, she's another one that, her and her daughter passed away as well.
Oh,
a few years later. What's her name? Man, she's like my age, our age. I don't know how old y'all are.
Okay, 54.
Okay, I'll be 49 next month.
Okay, all right.
I'm still a young buck.
Well, as E40 say, you're a young mustache.
I already know that. I know what it is, man. I ain't rushing, man.
All right.
I'm glad to still be here, though.
No doubt. And then what we're going to do is pick up on your question after that, too.
Yes.
And I definitely want to get into
number 8.
Yeah, about the podcast and renegade culture.
Word.
Yeah.
Brother's research, man.
Oh, no doubt. I had you on lock, brother. Let me know. We're back with the Vanguard on Power 108.9. We got some powerful conversation with brother Kalonji, Jama, Changa. And we got one more question from Kwame.
Tell us about your podcast, Renegade Culture.
Podcast. Let's just say it's not as smooth as this because we're a little unruly. Basically, our podcast, Renegade Culture, is co-hosted by my brother Kamal Franklin and myself. And basically, what we try to do, we use what we call creative resistance. Okay. And, so we bring on different types of guests. We've had everybody from, like I said, Cindy McKinney, the Killer Mike, the speech from Arrested Development, and Wise, Intelligent, Poor, Righteous Teachers, so many other folks, and then Jamoke and all types of other folks in between, Jared Paul, so on and so forth. But what we wanted to do was we recognized that a lot of times, we could sit here and chop it up and talk politics. Right. You know what I mean? And we're not going to skip a beat. Right. But then there's folks who are apolitical, but it doesn't mean that they're not interested in what's going on. They don't know where to get the right information. So as Lauren Hill, we add a mother so the ignorant. Yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, we curse, we crack jokes, we might talk about each other's sisters or mamas and all that type stuff. We get nuts. Right. But
that's why it's Renegade.
Yeah. But at the same time, we are for lack of better words, seasoned activists. Right. So whatever we're talking about, it's not just going to be straight BS. You're going to get the politics with it. Right. But we're going to, if for example, we talking about Al Sharpton, he's CI number 7. He's a rat. We're going to say he's a rat. You know what I mean? Right. Folks call it in, they mad. You can't talk about the Rev like that. Well, did he wear a wire? Oh, he did? Okay, next caller. Right. You know what I mean? So, okay. And we just deal with it. It's as street as possible. And when I say street, not, raggedy. Right. But we just, like we kicking a Willy Bobo.
You're just out there.
Just out there, right on.
Can I ask a question, if you don't mind?
Yeah, right on.
Was Cynthia McKinney blackballed?
Was she blackballed? We say she's whiteballed.
Or whitelisted.
Yeah. So, I mean, absolutely. But the thing is, again, anytime our people are whiteballed or blackballed or banned or whatever, we should blame ourselves because we don't have to look to other people for their approval. Whenever someone rejects, whenever Europeans reject us, usually we should be embracing the situation. Right. Yeah. Yes. So,
or if that person gets rejected, we should rally around them, and you know what I'm saying, and
absolutely.
Put a shield around them.
Yeah. But she was U.S. Congresswoman 6 times. She ran for president as far as the Green Party, and I suspect that her political career isn't over. You know what I mean? But I think that she doesn't get the credit that she should get because there's a lot of new sisters out here now that are putting in some serious work.
Oh, absolutely.
But she was the one of the forerunners.
Yeah, the Vanguard.
Absolutely,
pretty much.
Yeah. And she ain't no punk. We've and I'm speaking on her behalf because of the fact that I'm co-signing her because of the fact that we've been in hoods together. Right. You know what I mean? Okay. When Katherine Johnston was murdered over here, 92-year-old, we was out in the streets together. Yeah. You know what I mean? So she's not afraid to get out there, no bodyguards and
get dirty.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And if you want to knuckle up, you know what I'm saying? I ain't saying she gonna knuckle up, but I ain't gonna suggest you run up on her.
Right. Yeah, matter of fact, like I told you, she was actually at the conference. And,
Absolutely.
And brother, she put it down.
Oh yeah.
And she always does.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And a lot of our sisters don't get that credit in the movement because, like I was telling you earlier, you knew already that 70% of the Black Panther Party were women.
Right.
They ran all the community programs, but at the end of the day, you see the brothers out front when it's camera
With their
time.
chest all
Not that they're not
thrown
putting in
out.
work.
Well, and a lot of times they're not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We got to keep it funky because see,
Right.
a lot of times we get caught up with the cult of personality.
Right.
Who got a name?
Much
You know what I'm
of it.
saying? The name don't really mean anything.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes when we look at a Rolls Royce, and I'm gonna use a Rolls Royce because I am a fan of the Rolls Royce, a Bentley. Don't get it twisted. I like nice things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We've been fooled into believing that if you're gonna fight for your people, then you got to get a bucket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You'll get yours in heaven.
Get my Pinto.
Yeah. Miss me with all that, man.
Okay.
Preacher, he driving cool, everybody's good.
Right.
But you can have that Rolls Royce, you can have that Bentley, but if you don't have the guts, if you don't have the engine, then it's just for show.
Right.
You know what I mean? I pull up in that bucket and be gone 5 times, you still be standing in front of your car.
Right.
Without no engine.
Gotcha.
So, the engine, the guts is what's important. But like you said, the sisters in the movement, the Pam Africas, the Ramona Africas,
yes. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Sister Bathsheba, these are sisters that will, they'll talk to politics or, they ain't afraid
Erica
to put
Huggins.
that-
Erica
yeah,
Huggins.
Erica Huggins.
Elaine Brown.
Yes,
Let's
and
name them.
so many others.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Known and unknown. So, y'all know what time it is. I'm just visiting.
Well, you know what? One of my sheroes in history has always been Fannie Lou Hamer.
Yes.
I mean, you're talking about not only voting rights, human rights. She's an unsung civil rights hero.
Without a doubt.
But she doesn't get the credit that
Yeah.
some of the brothers in the movement,
Yeah.
get.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all deserving, but at the same time, I wrote an article, matter of fact, in Rolling Out Magazine
Okay.
on Fannie Lou Hamer because I wanted to pay homage to her.
Yeah.
And so
Yes.
you
I
you're
visited
absolutely
her
right about that.
gravesite in Mississippi, yeah.
Okay.
I cried because when I was there by the grave, me and my comrades, we were taking pictures, and it was almost like I could remember. It's almost like stuff flooded into my mind, like her spirit just like flooded into me, and I was just like, man, she did so much for us, and we have no idea. We have
Her,
no idea.
Queen Mother Moore.
Yeah.
So many of these
yeah.
sisters, man, they put that work in.
Ella
But,
Baker.
Yes.
And I don't know why I thought you were from Philly. Because you just you initially came across like a Philadelphia brother.
Yeah, he's nearby New York. That's why.
Well, that's the same proximity.
It's funny. I used to go out to Philly and battle rappers back in the 80s. But we ain't
Oh, is
gonna
that
get
right?
into
Oh, you had some bars,
We
brother.
ain't gonna talk about that. I'm retired now. You know what I'm saying? I know when to quit. You know
Oh,
what
okay,
I'm
all
saying?
right.
Yeah.
Well, you do good with the mumble rap today, but anyway,
Oh
I
yeah.
digress.
Yeah.
Well, next question, brother, is how was your recent participation at the Locks Conference in Philadelphia, which included some of the likes of Sonia Sanchez, The Last Poets, Felipe Luciano, Queen Suni Patterson, Pam Africa, Fred Hampton Jr., our comrade as well, and others.
Yeah.
How was that?
This was my I think it was my 5th time speaking there, 4th or 5th time, and if you all have never been to the Locks Conference, to the listeners, this was the 25th anniversary.
Wow.
Brothers, and she was outside of Elambe, Braff, and some of those folks.
Yeah.
Sister has been keeping that culture going hard. Right. You know what I mean? And it's revolutionary culture. It's not just because you hear Locks Conference, you automatically think that it's going to be a bunch of people with their hair twisted,
Exactly,
and looking cute.
Right.
It's far from that.
Okay.
We got some of our ugliest there, but we had our brother Marcus Klein, the founder of Freedom Home Academy. Like you said, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Him and I did a piece together, and Baina Bello. When you talk about women freedom fighters, to the listeners, if you're not familiar with Baina Bello and you're talking about revolution, then you want to go Google Baina Bello because of the fact that she's someone that when you talk about Haitian Revolution in particular, she put that work in. And as I mentioned earlier, she has a book out now called She Rose of the Haitian Revolution. So you get to find out about many of the women that were behind revolution as well. Okay. You know what I mean? There had to be a mother of Dessalines. There had to be a wife.
Sister.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Betty Shabazes. And not just, as they portray them, you know, in the history books, like Betty was just sitting there,
Yes,
you know, waiting for Malcolm to come home,
yeah.
or Coretta was just,
exactly,
baking a bean pie. Or something,
right. Like it's
Okay.
all right, brother Malcolm. They ain't really like
It
that.
ain't like that, right?
I don't know. When I see Sister Betty, she like, you know, like she got some lumps for you if you get it twisted.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
Right.
She don't look like no pushover.
Oh, I know that's right.
You know, but yeah. So the Locks Conference is definitely an awesome affair, and as always, we enjoyed ourselves.
Okay. And Brother Kwame, you had another question?
All right.
See, I like you brothers on Renegade Culture.
Yeah.
We don't ask nobody like, is it your
Because
turn?
It's
It's
Renegade.
They be like, forget that question.
It's straight. Yeah.
Well, see, we're at a certain age now, man. It's like we'll forget. Like, wait a
Yeah,
minute.
that's right. We have to write stuff
Man,
down
listen.
nowadays. Okay.
my partner older than milk, so
Yeah.
I already know.
Okay. How can people get in contact with you? Basically, you know,
I get in contact, depending on what you want. You
social
know?
media.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might not want to hear from him.
Something. Website.
Yeah.
Give us something.
On I'm on Instagram. It's at who he talking to.
Okay.
You know
All
what I
right.
mean?
That's
Who he
easy
talking
enough.
to, because that was one of the things I always heard. Who he talking to? I'm talking to all y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
I like that.
That Facebook, Kalonji Changa, Kalonji Jama Changa, the website, thepeoplesarmy.org, the website for the film, we have a film organizing is thenewcool.com, renegadeculture.org, I think it is. But I'm not hard to find, or you'll catch me in a city near you. But definitely, I implore you to, get involved in some kind of organization. Don't have to be ours, you know what I mean? But get down with something, because of the fact that at this stage in the game, it's like your body. You can't have. Imagine if the inside of your body was unorganized and your heart was beating whenever it wanted to, and your kidney said, I'm going to take the day off, and you'll be dead.
Right.
And that's
Absolutely.
where we are right now with organization as far as Africans in America.
Okay. And also, another point is that what events do you have coming up, whether appearances or whether it's something that you're doing?
Yes. Right now, the main thing we're working on is the release of our film. We'll be doing a number of different screenings in January. We have a number of different small events. The way you can keep up with that is, like I said, follow me on the whole social media thing. We also on thepeoplesarmy.org, we have a calendar where we'll be dropping new information starting next week.
Okay. Well, brother, it was an honor to have you here at the Vanguard on Power 108.9, and our doors are always open to you, my brother.
Man, it's an honor to be here. I know you invited me like 82 times.
Yes, I did, man. But, you had that slip in your schedule.
Yeah, but man, like, look, not this week I'm in Paris. Okay, cool. Not this week I'm in Belgium. Like, okay. I'm like, you here now? Nah, I'm in Uganda. It look like you just passed me on the highway, but I appreciate y'all.
Was that
Likewise,
you?
brother. And what my ending quote of the day, I always like to give an ending quote, and this was from Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah. He said, I am not African because I was born in Africa. I am Africa because Africa was born within me.
There it is.
There it is. So we will be back at the Vanguard on December 1st. Honored to have Brother Changa in the building, and we'll get back with you soon. Peace, family.
Gratitude.
Peace.